What's up, Wrestling Universe? Welcome back to Wrestling vs. CC, your home for the most explosive wrestling news and analysis. I'm your host, and today we're covering a story that has absolutely rocked the wrestling world to its core. Before we dive in, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you do not want to miss any of our exclusive wrestling content. Ladies and gentlemen, in what can only be described as the most shocking real-life plot twist of 2025, reports have emerged suggesting that Rebecca Quinn, better known to wrestling fans worldwide as The Man, Becky Lynch, has reportedly filed for divorce from her husband, WWE superstar Seth Rollins, whose real name is Colby Lopez. Now, before we go any further, I want to emphasize that we're dealing with real people's lives here. This isn't storyline drama, this is real life, and it affects not just Becky and Seth, but their daughter Rue and their families. We're going to cover this story with the respect it deserves while giving you all the information we have. Let's take a step back and remember how we got here. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins weren't just any wrestling couple, they were the power couple of WWE. Think about it, the man and the architect, two of WWE's biggest stars, main event caliber performers who dominated their respective divisions and captured the hearts of millions of fans worldwide. Their relationship began around 2019, initially kept private as both superstars were incredibly focused on their careers. Becky was in the middle of her legendary Man run, having main event WrestleMania 35 and become one of the most over superstars in WWE history. Meanwhile, Seth was establishing himself as a cornerstone of Monday Night Raw, carrying the company as a top babyface. When they finally went public with their relationship, the wrestling world erupted with excitement. Here were two performers at the absolute peak of their powers, both beloved by fans, coming together in what seemed like a fairy tale romance. The chemistry was undeniable, whether they were supporting each other at ringside or sharing moments on social media. Becky and Seth appeared to be the perfect wrestling couple. In August 2019, they announced their engagement, and wrestling fans couldn't have been happier. This was during a time when both were carrying their respective brands, Becky as the Raw Women's Champion and Seth as a main event player. Their engagement announcement broke the internet, with fellow wrestlers, celebrities, and millions of fans congratulating the couple. But here's where the story gets really interesting from a wrestling perspective. Their relationship coincided with some of the most significant moments in both of their careers. Becky's pregnancy announcement in May 2020 came at a time when she was the undisputed face of the women's division. She had to relinquish her Raw Women's Championship, passing the torch to Asuka in one of the most emotional moments in recent WWE history. The couple tied the knot in a private ceremony in June 2021, with their daughter Rue already adding joy to their lives. From the outside looking in, everything seemed perfect. Seth often spoke in interviews about how becoming a father changed his perspective on wrestling and life in general. Becky, during her time away from the ring, frequently shared glimpses of their family life that painted a picture of domestic bliss. When Becky returned to WWE at SummerSlam 2021, attacking Bianca Belair and reclaiming her spot at the top of the women's division, Seth was there supporting her every step of the way. This was a new chapter for both of them, balancing their wrestling careers with parenthood, and initially, it seemed like they were handling it masterfully. But wrestling fans know that the business can be incredibly demanding. Both Becky and Seth were traveling extensively, performing multiple times a week, dealing with the physical and emotional toll of their profession, all while trying to maintain a relationship and raise a young child. Looking back now, were there signs that trouble was brewing behind the scenes? This is where it gets tricky, because as fans, we only see what performers choose to share with us. However, there were some subtle indicators that perhaps not everything was as picture-perfect as it appeared. In recent months, both Becky and Seth seemed to be focusing more intensely on their individual careers. Becky's storylines became more personal and intense, while Seth's character work, particularly with his Monday Night Messiah and subsequent gimmicks, showed a performer who was perhaps channeling real emotions into his work. Social media activity, often a barometer for celebrity relationships, showed some interesting patterns. While both continued to post about their daughter and their wrestling careers, the couple photos and supportive messages between them became noticeably less frequent. Again, this could mean nothing. Many couples prefer to keep their private lives private, especially when dealing with the pressures of public scrutiny. Wrestling insiders have been quietly discussing tensions, though nothing concrete ever emerged. The wrestling business is notorious for its rumor mill, but when multiple sources start whispering about the same thing, it often indicates there might be some truth behind the speculation. If these divorce reports are accurate, the implications for WWE could be significant. Both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are franchise players for the company. Becky revolutionized women's wrestling and became one of WWE's biggest mainstream stars, while Seth has been a consistent main event performer and company representative for years. From a creative standpoint, WWE has occasionally incorporated real-life relationships into storylines, though they've generally been respectful about personal matters. The company will likely want to minimize any potential backstage drama and ensure that both performers can continue to work professionally, especially given their importance to different brands and storylines. There's also the question of scheduling and logistics. WWE often tries to accommodate couples by keeping them on the same travel schedule when possible. If the relationship has indeed ended, this could affect everything from house show bookings to television appearances. The wrestling world has seen high-profile divorces before. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon managed to work together professionally despite any personal challenges, and other wrestling couples have navigated similar situations. However, Becky and Seth's situation is unique given their current status as active, top-tier performers. What's most important to remember throughout all of this speculation is that we're dealing with real human beings facing real challenges. The wrestling business puts incredible pressure on relationships. The constant travel, the physical demands of the job, the pressure to perform at the highest level night after night, these factors can strain even the strongest relationships. Add to that the pressure of being public figures, having every aspect of your life scrutinized by fans and media, and the challenge becomes even greater. Becky and Seth have always handled their public personas with grace and professionalism, but that doesn't make the personal challenges any less real. If they are indeed going through a divorce, both deserve our respect and privacy during what must be an incredibly difficult time. They have a young daughter to consider, and maintaining some semblance of normalcy for her should be the priority. Professionally, both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are at interesting points in their careers. Becky has established herself as one of the greatest female performers in wrestling history. Her man character broke barriers and helped elevate women's wrestling to new heights. Even if she's dealing with personal challenges, her professional legacy is secure. Seth Rollins continues to be one of WWE's most reliable main event performers. His ability to reinvent his character and adapt to different storylines has made him invaluable to the company. Like Becky, his professional standing shouldn't be affected by personal matters. Both performers are still young enough to have many productive years ahead of them in wrestling, and both have shown interest in expanding their careers beyond the ring. Whatever personal challenges they may be facing, their professional futures remain bright. The wrestling community's reaction to these reports has been overwhelmingly supportive, which speaks to the respect both Becky and Seth have earned throughout their careers. Fans have largely avoided speculation and gossip, instead offering messages of support and understanding. This mature response from the wrestling fanbase shows how much both performers mean to the community. Fans have invested emotionally in their careers and their relationship, but they're also showing wisdom and respecting their privacy during a difficult time. As we wrap up today's video, I want to emphasize that much of what we've discussed today is based on reports and speculation. Neither Becky Lynch nor Seth Rollins has made any official statements regarding their relationship status, and we should respect their right to handle their personal matter privately. What we do know is that both are incredibly talented performers who have given wrestling fans countless memorable moments. Whether they're dealing with personal challenges or not, they deserve our continued support and respect. The wrestling business will continue, and both Becky and Seth will continue to entertain us with their incredible performances. Sometimes the most professional thing we can do as fans is to focus on what they choose to share with us in the ring and respect their privacy outside of it. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you think about this situation. Remember to keep your comments respectful, these are real people dealing with real situations. Don't forget to subscribe to Wrestling vs. CC for all the latest wrestling news and analysis, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our content. Until next time, Wrestling Universe. Keep watching, keep supporting, and remember that behind every wrestling character is a real person deserving of our respect and understanding. Peace out, Wrestling Verse.